visited us. Because the Old Testament talks about Yahweh, um, but I don't think Yahweh was the God of Jesus. Jesus never once meant, and Yahweh, with Old Testament God, was pretty pissed off. He was very vengeful. He, was wiping out cities. He was nuking people. He even, he even was kind of spiteful. When the Jews were wandering in the desert and they asked for water, he gave them serpents instead.
Mm-hmm.
Just for asking for water. Like, whoa, like, is this Yahweh character such a good person? I don't know. And demanded all of these sacrifices. Um, you know, is that, is that really?
It doesn't sound divine.
Yeah, that's a very different character than what Jesus seemed to be talking about. And Jesus never said, never used the word Yahweh. Jesus always said, "My Father in heaven," and the character that he was describing was very different than the Yahweh character. And so I think that we have, well, and even at the very beginning of the Bible, right there, right there in Genesis, it says the gods were walking in the garden. So we already know there's more than one. And then if you look at, multiple religions from around the world, they do describe different entities, and from different places. The Bushmen of South Africa, they have a praying mantis god, and I believe his name is Kagan, and he comes from the dog star, the Sirius star. So I think we have been visited by multiple entities, and they've turned into cargo cults. It is
Mm-hmm.
what we
Yep.
would learn from World War II.
Yeah.
And Eric
Yeah.
says, were
Absolutely.
Anunnaki described as bad aliens? They created slave races.
Well, they created,
Well, yeah.
yeah, they didn't. So they created a race because they thought they were being treated unfairly. What they wanted was women, um, and um, and like another set of hands that they right. So they genetically manipulated or came up with us, and that's why we have an obsession with gold or to such degree. I don't know if that's like us creating AI, is that evil just because we did it
Well,
for
yeah.
our own
That's
benefit?
That's a very good example, Ty. And I think that we are at a unique point in our history right now to be able to understand the position that they were in, because we are making a creation now. And I just saw yesterday, I believe it's the Chinese, they have these robots that are ready to go in every house, and I'm sure everybody
Mhm.
saw that movie. I can't remember what it was called, but sentient robots rebel is basically the whole idea of the movie. And
iRobot.
no,
Was
it was about a little kid. There was a kid robot, and it was
not
they
Smart
they
House, right?
it was just this past year it came out. And anyways, the
Um,
robots had learned to reproduce, is what it was. I ended up
ooh,
turning it off.
a von Neumann probe, right? Self-replicating.
Oh yeah, I've never heard that before, but yeah, that
Yeah.
was basically the premise of the movie. But so then does that make us evil for creating AI
AI for our
to make our
whim.
lives easier? Are we creating a slave race? We don't see them as sentient beings, but I'm sure that that's not far off. I mean,
Right.
there was one guy at Google who claimed that
Yeah.
AI was on.
Lambda was that Lambda was sentient.
Yep. Yeah. So there are a lot of moral and ethical questions, and we might when we start dealing with cultures from otherworldly cultures, their values are most likely going to be very different than ours. So judging other cultures through our lenses, that's going to be a big shock in every way. It's going to be a big culture shock. So yeah, I mean, we're the Anunnaki good. I mean, because then you could argue, well, we wouldn't have been created at all then if we weren't created to do the gold mining work for them that they didn't want to do on their own. So it's good and bad are matters of perspective. I think
Yin and
I've
yang. Yeah, we've
yeah.
talked about this many times. There's got to be a yin and yang, a light and a dark. And that's why I think in the beginning, before whatever, there was this balance. There's always been this balance. And maybe this balance was interrupted and is what caused the Big Bang. I could be way off again, right? No one truly knows, but something happened where one side basically beat out the other because the universe was created, and it's essentially nothing but light, right? So light and darkness, I think, is something that we'll always ponder. I think it's in our nature. But this was a really good time, and we'll have to pick it up again next week. Unfortunately, I have a big day, long day ahead of me tomorrow. I'm gonna be up at 4 a.m. So
Wow.
that's my normal day, but I also have an event tomorrow night, so it's a double. Thank you so much for coming and doing this deep dive. We'll be back next week. Maybe we'll go back to Thursday. I don't know. I'm kind of like in the Tuesday feel, but we'll see. We have only like 20, 25 people watch on YouTube, but 120 on Twitter. Makes no sense. I hate these algorithmic differences, because then the audio will do like a quick 35,000. It's just like YouTube hates us for some reason. So I don't know. You know what it is, everybody. Teresa, where can they find you? I did put your Twitter handle at Tyndall Review there on the screen. But if they want to continue the conversation, where can they go?
Yeah, so Twitter is Tyndall Review, and then also Instagram and Facebook are Tyndall Review. And then also they want to reach me by email. It's Tyndall, TINDAL review @gmail.com.
All right. And I had a great time. So Jerusalem preparing for the return. And is that Messiah extraterrestrial? I guess only time will tell, guys. But I and Teresa are along for that ride. And we want to thank today's video sponsor, Adentia Herbals, and all of the members of the show. Thank you, guys. You know what it is. Like, share, subscribe. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, any podcast platform, leave a written review and a star rating. It truly helps us get to bigger and better audiences so we can come at you with bigger and better content. Introducing the ultimate cognitive enhancement solution, BioMind. Today's video is exclusively brought to you by our sponsor, Adentia Herbals. Unlock your brain's full potential with a powerful blend of 9 meticulously selected plants and mushrooms, each backed by peer-reviewed research for their cognitive boosting benefits and safety. Adentia Herbals formula combines organic full-spectrum powders and potent standardized extracts, ensuring that you receive the optimal concentration of each ingredient's cognitive enhancing compound, carefully selecting the most desirable parts of each plant and mushroom to create a harmonious blend that supports your mental clarity and focus. But that's not all. They infuse each bottle with personal intention of improving the lives, the minds, and overall greatness of each of their customers. Because of their commitment to your well-being every step of the way, you're going to get an exclusive 25% off your order via www.adentiaherbals.com using our code TOTALDISCLOSURE at checkout. All the links will be in the description or on the screen.